Test, test. Alright, now the sound should be there. So I'm just going to check if we can continue, but I do think we can continue, so everyone should be able to hear me loud and clear. You're not able to see me, I think, because I'm on another screen than normally, so I would have to apologize for that. But it's not to see me, it is to see the session, of course. So, okay, so I'm just getting a message that it works right now, so I'm just going to, James, there you are again. Thanks for responding, James. So, alright, let's get started. This is a trade where I'm personally already in. The reasoning behind it is we had a 4-hour order block, a 45-minute imbalance fail, and I took the trade quite early this week, in the beginning of the week. Still took a lot of my position out when we came up here somewhere, because I didn't like price action too much and I wanted to see what would happen. What I first wanted to see was for us to break above this structure. We didn't have a break of structure. If we go to the line chart, we can see that there is no break of structure. If we look at this, we have our high point, but we never made a higher high. So for me, there was no break of structure just yet. So at that point, I was just still waiting for us to say, hey, are you going up or are you going down? Now, when I'm looking at the chart, I want to see if this reaction that we're getting is the reaction of this possible 1-hour bullish order block. So this is a 1 hour, I'll write it down with it as well. And right now I do want to see if we can get a break of structure above. We need to break this structure from me, so I'm going to draw a structure line, and I'm going to add an alert for myself. When it crosses up the horizontal already, let me just have a look, because maybe I can do it on a smaller time frame. 45, 30 minutes looks good to me. This was significant. Ooh, this is filled. Okay, so I'm going to add it to the 30 minute. Crossing up horizontal was close. Alright, great. So now if you break above, I can look to get an entry in for another shot at a long position. The other time frames, they're looking kind of good as well at this point, but first we need to see that break of structure. If we get that break of structure to the upside, I'll be looking to buy this back up, at least to fill 49,700, because we do have daily imbalance. If we zoom in, we do have our daily imbalance that could get filled. If we break above, then of course there is imbalance in these wicks on a 4 hour, but eventually if we can make a higher high above this high, then my next area where I will target is like 52,300, because that's a daily. If we break above, I might hold one until 53,400. So, but we need to see that break of structure first, of course. In the meanwhile, you all read the disclaimer, I hope. If not, the disclaimer was: trading involves risk, loss, profit, not guarantee future results. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to entice anyone into taking a certain trade. If you wish to take a certain trade, that's completely up to you. I don't want to have anything to do with the lot size or anything that you use on it. That being said, we can continue. So just for you guys to recap what I just said, we had the 4 hour order block, and now I'm waiting. We did have a possible mitigation from the 1 hour and the 30 minute, because this is also the 30 minute. If you look at the 30 minute, that did pretty nicely. Where was it? London Open, around London Open. That's good, but I do need to see that break of structure. If we don't break above and we break below, then I might look for something in this wick or see where the mitigation could come from, and then look for an extra shorting scenario. Took partials on the bullish side, kept something running. If it goes break even, it goes break even. If we break below, then my next area to target is 47.20, something like that. Sorry for that. And if you guys, I'm not going to go over oil again, or I will go over oil again, but a little bit later. What I did want to say as well was, if you guys have any question, you know the chat box is there for a reason. My man James already knows how to use it. I think he's the only one who knows how to use it, because the rest of you guys, I see we have viewers, but I don't see anything moving in the chat, so maybe you guys don't know how to use it, the YouTube, or you're just a little bit shy. Don't worry, there's not a such thing as a strange question or anything like that. What I did want to cover, there we go. I'm not a daddy Jumbo, I didn't get married either, because I just was on a holiday last week. EURUSD is actually at an interesting position. I just took a very small short position already, but the remaining, for me personally, my remaining orders are sitting at 18,300. With my stops just above the high, targeting the daily fill around 1710. What's the reasoning behind it? If you look at a daily, and let's just take another chart so it's clean. Oh, that's this was a case study, if I'm not mistaken, so I can delete it. If you look at a daily, we did come to fill this daily imbalance, so that's why I'm looking at it. We did fill daily imbalance, as you can see, and I know the screen isn't always showing it correctly, so I hope that it's good enough for you to see it. I'll zoom in a bit. The daily imbalance got filled, as you can see. So we did fill this daily, and now I wanted to see bearish price action, but because it's not because we filled the imbalance that we're just going to fall down. Where are the targets? Of course, we have a daily zone where we could see possible reaction from, so this would definitely be one of my targets. Now, let's just delete this as well. Now, what happened? We came to the daily zone and we did get a bearish reaction. Did we already completely break structure? No, but we left equal lows. And based on my, my relationship with EURUSD is that I'm often looking at the right direction, and it's often that the market just doesn't let me in. So that's why I said, like, for me personally, I took a short on it, a small short at a 4-hour open, but my remaining positions are at 1830, like I said, because 1830 is, if I'm not mistaken, 1 hour, not the 2 hour, yeah, there we go, around the 2 hour imbalance fill. Okay, so that's the reasoning why. If I would plan a trade around this, and if I would go short at 1830, we'll just have a look at the possible risk to rewards. 1830, let's give it like 16.5 pips, a little something like that. 16.5. Definitely a partial area would be around 1765 maybe. I do prefer a 1 to 4 as a first partial, but possibly in euros I will go for a 1 to 3.70, something like that as a first TP. Then next one, I want this wick to be taken out. After all, I still see a little bit of imbalance lower at 1705, and that's where I already will be with a lot of positions out of the trade. Let me just say it like that. And then eventually, if this would be the daily, and we're going to, if we would make a lower low, we don't know that, but if we would make a lower low, I still see imbalance at 1.14675. Will I keep my entire position running until that point? No, I will not. Of course not. I will take my partials along the way. But just based on a day, let's say 1710 something, it's already 127. So that's a good risk to reward for me. If, however, we don't get there, no worries. If price reacts from this bullish order block, these two, so the 4 hour, and we get a smaller time frame break of structure, now what do we want to see? We want to see this, just delete this for now. We don't want to see this structure get broken because this is our last movement up. So this is our trading range at this point. What do we need to see? We need to see this structure get broken. So if we break below this structure, and then I could look at, as it is looking right now, this 1 hour candle, but then it first has to show me this bearish price action. That will be the safer trade. An aggressive trade would be at 1830. The safer trade will be after we break another structural point. So we have our 2 consecutive break of structures, and then look for an entry. So that's the safer trade. The more risky one is the one that I just entered, and the one that I have on 1.1830. And yeah, that's something I'm looking at this point on Euro USD, to be honest. You guys know where to TP, where I will personally put my TP areas. So that's something completely different, of course. So keep in mind that this is what I'm looking at right now. I'm just going to make this, I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to put here a structure line for me as well. So if you break below these lows, this is my structure line, crossing down, horizontal ray. If the bar closes, okay, so the stream got disconnected, but it should be okay. So it is possible that the 30 minutes is just going to be the one. So I'm going to add, sorry for that, I'm going to make my alert on a 30 minutes. There we go. So if you break below, I will look at it, because the reason why I took an entry already based on the 4 hour was based on a 30 minute. We have the same order block, 18205, a nice round number as well. We are approximately half an hour before New York Open. So it's important to understand that the timing is good as well. Maybe, I don't know, maybe at New York Open we could see some bearishness coming in, come back, have a tight stop, and look to target these things. But price action has to show us that. Please keep in mind that price action isn't showing us bearishness, that it's more risky to get in a trade. I've been saying this lately to a lot of guys, that I had, like, we see a lot of people going for different funding programs, etc., and we see a lot of people struggling with it. So they come back and say, I'm struggling with the funding, I can't get in, I have my mindset isn't good, for example, when I'm trading bigger lot sizes, or when I'm trading higher accounts, bigger money, or anything like that. But that's something you have to learn, and that's something we will be happy to help you with as well in the future. There are some tips and tricks to get used to that, and one of those things is that I'm going to share it with you guys, is just gradually upgrade. Let's say you're going for a 100k challenge and you're failing it every time because you are you're having difficulties with these bigger lots, with this bigger money that's going on. You're having difficulties with that. It's possible, but why don't you try a 20k challenge, for example? First try that, and always try to look at the market in a perspective of percentages. So if you're up 2k on a 100k account, you're up only 2%, keep it in mind. So you're not up 2k, yes you are up 2k, but you're only up 2%, and maybe that could help you as well in your thinking process. But that was something completely different. So at this point Euro USD is reacting, but we have to wait. For the people that took the same short with me, I'll just wait. If we get a break of structure, I would really prefer that, and then come back. Or it leaves without us. You know, my relationship with Euro USD is the same. So the 45 minute is actually the same, and that's what I want to see, more bullish price action. Alright, so let's go over, not over that, let's go over the pairs right now. So if you guys have any pairs that you want to have a look at for yourself, just drop it in the chat box. I do have it open so I can watch it, don't worry about it. AUD and ZD, I'm not, as I said as well on the other call yesterday, when we are at these extreme lows, I'm not enticed to sell it. If it keeps dropping, it's okay, then I will be out of the trade, then I won't be in the trade. This might be a little bit better for you guys. Then I won't be in the trade. But because we're at such a low point, I need to see more pressure. This, everything that happened right here is choppy for me. This is the only thing I see that's the imbalance. Because this is so choppy, I don't want to be in the trade. Or we break above and I can look for an entry, or I won't be in the trade. Unless, the only reason when I will be in a trade is if this closes like this, and then we get a nice bearish break of structure, maybe leaving some equal lows, then I know where I can no problem, Richard. Then I already know where I can TP. But right now I don't see. I like this lonely wick as a TP area, but it first has to show me that. And based on what's happening right now, and based on what I'm going to look for on Euro USD, Euro NZD, then you will see that I'm a little bit, at this point, I could see some relief on the NZD, so a little bit more bearishness on the NZD. Not on the crazy long term, but in the meanwhile. So I do have something on the Euro NZD we can cover, but I first need to see that break of structure on it. But we'll cover it in a bit, so don't worry. AUD USD, you see what's happening. I don't have to look at anything. This was the only zone where I was looking at possible buying scenarios, and right now it already made it higher high, so we can still consider this as our structural points, but we have intraday structure in between as well. So at this point I'm not liking anything too much just yet on AUD USD. Catch up I do am liking. So yesterday on yesterday's call, I said I want to see a reaction from this zone. We did get a reaction from it. We did already fill the imbalance, and right now I want to see where the market wants to go. Because if I look on a 1 hour time frame, I like this 1 hour candle, and it's even better on the 45 minute, and I do think on the 30 minutes. No, the 45 it was. So 72360. I like this candle. What's holding me back from placing a buy limit on this candle, for example, is because we might have, this is might have, do keep in mind that it's never a certainty. There's nothing certain on the forex market, and the only thing that's certain on the forex market is that the market moves up and down. That's the only thing. We won't know when it will do what, so that's something we have to say. So because we filled the imbalance, I will be waiting to see what price action gives me. If we do not respect the imbalance, then I might look for a buying opportunity. Where? At this point, the only thing I see is the 45 minute. Do I like it based on the hourly? It's still okay on the hourly. Do I like it on a 2 hour? We do have this. How can we say that, or what can we say that this could be like a problem zone, because we had like our structure that did something like this. For me, to be honest, the entire structure is still this. I wouldn't mind too much this, but this could be our problem point, so we have to keep that in mind. For me preferred, I want to see bullish price action coming in based on a 45 minute break of structure, and then we can go up. If we just keep moving up, then I already know that EuroCAD is going down. You see? So this will keep me out of the break even, because I don't think we're going to get that structure. And that's okay for me. Why is it? Because then I know that the market direction has changed. This was also too soon for me personally. This was on Monday. I don't expect the market to make its low on Monday, even though this was London-New York overlap. If you put on the sessions, London-New York overlap, that's great, perfect, especially for Euro-Canadian. But it was too soon for me personally. Monday, I do trade on Mondays, but I don't think that my entry from a Monday will give me the ultimate, will give me the low or the high of the week. Let me say it like that. That's why I already closed some partials on it. Euro GBP, it's on my watch list, and we did mitigate a possible 4 hour order block. as we can see. This is a 4 hour. Now, I do have an alert set, you all see it, because I really liked, not like, but liked the possible buy at 8.555 after this movement. When we came, it's like, yeah, just give me a little bit more. My first TP would have been here. And now, it's just, I need to see this structure get broken. If we break below the structure, just like I said on yesterday's call, if we break below the structure, I will look for selling opportunities. But at this point, this is like, for me being completely, now this looks like, I can't swear on this, I think this looks like beep. So this really doesn't look nice. Would you want to trade something that looks like this, especially if you're trading smart money concepts? And now it's time for the guys to answer. I'll go over Chef Yen as well, for this person that's asking about it. I'll already continue because I know that there's a delay on the stream, so you can answer me if you would want to trade Euro GBP in the position or how it looks right now. Euro Yen. Wanted to see a reaction. Never gave me the reaction. Perfect, James and Ruben. Finally, some people are answering. That's what I like. Now, Euro Yen. This is like, for me personally, the biggest breakthrough I ever had in trading. Is like, don't try to trade every order block or every institutional candle that you see. I did that. I lost. Trust me. Probably all of the mistakes that people make, I can, not gladly, but I can say that I did them. Really. I made a lot of mistakes, but really a lot of them. From over leveraging to trading only small time frames without looking at the bigger time frames, from wanting to flip accounts, from wanting to become a millionaire in a day, from wanting to take every single trade, from wanting to be in every single trade. So I think, yeah, those are just the main ones, like everyone does, but I think I did like all of them. So one of my breakthroughs was like, this was beginning of August. This came in the 1st of September. This is like a month, a complete month of price action in between. We see that price action in between a complete month. Will I put a limit order? No. No lie, I did want to see a reaction. I wanted to see a bearish reaction because we came to an interesting zone, and then if we would have broken structure, I would have come back, I would have waited for the structure to get broken, get back and then get in. Because if I just say like, hey, I'm selling it because it's like from beginning of August and I see something, then I would have hit a stop loss. And what's the difference between Euro Yen and Euro USD? Euro USD was yesterday. This was price action from yesterday. This daily imbalance, this daily was also the beginning of August, so I would not trade it unless I see the reaction. Did we see a bearish reaction? Yes. Did we see it on Euro Yen? No. Easy peasy. You see? Trading is difficult. You just have to keep your mind in it. You have to be, you have to allow yourself to wait. You have to allow yourself to do the most boring job in the world that could be considered as one of the most profitable jobs. Yeah, let me say that. Yeah, it's something like that. And there's no guarantees or anything. But come on, if you need to be working, boring, if you need to be waiting a lot, but you can learn how to let money work for you and duplicate your money, even if it's only 5% a month. Imagine making 5% a month on a 500k account. Then I'll be happy to take it. Really. No problem with that. If I have to be patient for that, no problem. What will I do? Do something else. Said it before as well. Keep in mind, trading is the most boring thing there is. Now, Euro NZD. It's starting to look like it's reacting from 2-hour zone. Would I place a limit? No, I wouldn't. Why is that? Because then I would have placed a limit in here and in there and everywhere in between. And I don't do that. 2 hour zone was the cleanest one. So if we narrow it down to the order block itself, tapped into it. Looks good. This is how I talk to myself. This is how I talk to myself when I'm looking at trades. So, this looks good. Okay, 3 hour. I'll have to wait for the 3 hour. 3 hour close in about 22 minutes. 4 hour close in about 1 hour and 22 minutes. How does a 45 look? Okay, decent. 30 minute. Decent. 15. Decent. Not the best yet, but it's starting to look like we could get a reaction from it. What candle do I like the most at this point is a 2 hour. So I'm just going to mark it up already. I'm not going to put an order or anything on it. I'm just going to mark it up. This is my 2 hour point of interest. It's around the 3 hour. If it closes bullish, it has to close more bullish. What do we see? First TP area would be 6828. Immediately see that. 4 hours same probably. Yeah, the imbalance fill. 2 hour, the imbalance fill. Okay, so I'm just going through the different time frames, and you guys should see what I'm seeing right now. 2 hours the same as the 1 hour. Approximately the 45 minutes. Let's just put it at a 45 minute. Let's make it a little bit higher. 376, and before it was 363. Okay, so I know that. It's good for me to know. What do we see? 30 minute. Same one as the 1 hour and 2 hour. Are you seeing the confirmations that I'm speaking out? That I'm seeing like, okay, still have a balance above. 15, 10 minutes. They are starting to line up. When did this happen? Do you see the timing? The beginning of London session. This move started London session. So I'm getting more and more confident in taking the trade. That's something you should do for yourself as well. So like, hey, what's happening? And I'm just going to mark it up as if I would take it. I'm not going to put an order on, but I'm just going to mark it up. Ooh, I don't like, that's like, yeah, that's like a big stop loss. For real. This is the low, so yeah, I should give it like at least, to be honest, this is a big stop. A big one. For me personally. So I'm just going to look at the smaller time frames as well. It does look like a big stop, no lie. Now I'm going to see where I could get my TPs in. Let's just go to the 2 hour again. That's like a 1, 2, 3. Okay. Still a little bit hesitant. I'm reviewing my own trade. This is how I look at a trade. I'm going through my confirmations. Next one. 1 to 5. Okay. 1 to 9. Okay. Same areas. Same areas. Let's look at the daily. Ooh. Okay. This was all very choppy. But look at the daily. We do have my ultimate. This is also a daily bear. Hey. We just have a check. That's what I thought. Should be bold. Let me just. The daily there, I don't know. template. D-bear. D-bear. So it's the same one as the other one, of course. Now it's better. Okay, so let's just look at it. I'm not liking the 4 hour just yet, so I will be patient with the trade. I'm not liking the 4 hour yet. I'm liking the 1 hour and the 2 hour, but the 4 hour is more important than the 2 hour and the 1 hour. So this would be, probably I would be around 1 to 9, almost all of my position will be taken out. 17, 15, probably is a nice round number. Still not a trade for me just yet. But I will keep an eye on it, so I put it on my watch list. There we go. I will put an alert about 10 pips before it hits my entry to see where price is at that point. Maybe a little bit higher. There we go. So then we can see when price gets here, what already occurred. So we don't have to look at it all the time. Euro USD we covered. GA finally took out the lows, but it's looking still very bearish. GJ also very interesting for you to understand, right? I saw this movement and I just marked up the 1 hour candle because I did want to see what was going to happen when we got there. What did I also see was these equal highs. So these are equal highs. Reasoning why I would never put a limit order just on this 1 hour is because I didn't see where this could have reacted from. There was no intention for me to go short because we left equal highs. It just gave me a 1 hour candle and then it gave me nothing. Just like on Euro Yen. I had this marked up and I left it over there for you to understand what I was looking at and why I didn't take it. 4 hour looked very ugly, for a seller at least. So, staying away. I'm staying away from GJ until it shows me or some price action at this imbalance fill, or yeah, I wanted to buy it at 149.65. We never got there, of course, so that's about it. GU a little bit the same. Looking at GU for myself at around the 15-minute open. 15-minute imbalance fill at around 92. Why is it the same scenario? This was a daily, so if I just mark the daily candle, it's like a really big candle. So for me, nothing to daily bear. Nothing to look at, but I do know that we came from a daily zone. We tapped into it, and let's see if we zoom in. This low was around 38075. Tapped into this one. Did we really touch it to the pip? Probably we missed it with just a little bit, but that's okay. And now what did we see? The 1 hour isn't looking nice, but the 4 hour I saw this candle. But for me, this is like a way too big of a candle. My stop would be 39, 40 pips on GU. I won't do that. So I just said like, okay, let me look at a 3 hour. Yeah, 3 hours, okay, nothing too clear. 2 hour looks a little bit the same. 1 hour, nothing, just ugly. But then 45 minutes, we had this candle. So this is still too big of a stop for me. 30 minutes, still too big of a stop for me. 3780 to this is like 28 pips. I won't say that 28 pips is too big of a stop on GU, but if I just go to another time frame, it's like this was for me like the candle that tapped into the daily zone, London New York overlap. So it all started during London and New York overlap, but this was for me the candle that did it. 10 minutes, same imbalance. 5 minute extreme is at 3797. Still the same imbalance. It's possible that we're not getting there. True. It is definitely possible that we're not going to get up there. That's why I just have an alert set to see when we get there if my trade will be valid or not. What do I keep in mind? This 45-minute candle as well. But if we can get up there and I'm at this, and I just have this low, that's 123.55. So this would be a 123.55, so I'm definitely already at break even then. Just going to, there we go. Where do I want to see us get back to? 36.65. Why is it? Because it's a 4-hour imbalance fill approximately. So that's the reason why I'm looking at TU. NU, if you compare NU to AU, you see that AU is stronger at this point. At least this section, not the entire move, but this section in here. So right now I want to see what's going to happen, especially because this will also affect Euro NZD. USD CAD looks very ugly at this point to me, no lie. And then UJ, I do like it as well, but I forgot to set my alert to see what's going to happen when we get there. There we go. Why am I looking at this zone? Because this is a 4-hour order block. There we go. So I know that it's here. And yesterday I had some people say like, yeah, they want to go short at the 1 hour. I said, I want to see price action at the 1 hour. Because we were in between this 4-hour zone still yesterday. We tapped lower, so that's okay. But I wouldn't say like, hey, it was a clean break structure to the downside, so I would not get in at the 1 hour. Then I said like, yeah, let me just go for a 124, at least for a TP1 if we get there. So now it's a waiting game to see if the price can come back before going up. If we break above this high, then I'll look. I still would love to see some bullish price action kicking in. Then I have Eurochev and Chef Yen that I just want to cover. Eurochev is the trade that I was looking at yesterday, and this is, look, so if we just go back, why did I delete the trade, do you think? Look at the daily. It's very clear on the daily. Where did we come back to? A possible daily order block. Will I keep a 1 hour limit order based if I see that this reaction is coming from a daily? No, I won't. When we would have, if I would have kept the trade, if I just would have kept it, just zoom out a bit, then I would have gotten a reaction out of it from at least 7 pips. My stop was 10 pips, so that's about a 1.1 to 1.7. I would definitely be break even, and it would have taken me out at break even, as you can see. I did not keep the trade, so this would be the break even hit. I did not keep the trade because of this. So that's how I always look at the market. I will say, when is it valid, when is it invalid? If it's still, if I say for me personally it's invalid when we came to the daily first, this was a daily order block, this line, then I'll delete it. If price would have done this, and dropped, then I would just wait for it to come back and then make the next move, at least to fill this 1 hour imbalance that we can see. If this would have done this and went to TP1 immediately, then okay, I would not be in the trade, and I would not be sad because I'm not in the trade, just because it wasn't correct according to my analysis. And let me go over Chef Yen because somebody asked about it. Chef Yen is like really playing with us, I think. We're wicking in. I do like weakness on the yen. I'm just looking at it and talking to myself a little bit like this could have been this, but yeah, I'll just leave it. Let me just look at a 45 1 hour. Actually, Chef Yen, it looks decent at this point. I prefer to have this structure get taken out as well. Filled, not completely, but filled a lot of imbalance as well on a bears on a possible sell-off, but I'm just going to do some markups on it. Just need to see. Okay, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, okay. This is like the 1 hour and the 2 hour. 2 hour first, sorry. I'm just going to look at it and see if we could spot something. I'm just going to mark it up. I'm not going to put an order on it. I'm just going to look at it to see how it looks like. Let's give it 10 pips or so. Yeah. Just going to look at it to see this. Yeah, looks good. Won't put a pending. The weekly imbalance still should be filled for me personally. There we go. This is like the bigger time frame where we can have a look at daily zone. So even if we keep it on 21.75, there we go. About 1 to 17. My only concern is that it could have also reacted that 4 hour, but we'll see. Just going to put my alert and see whether I'm going to take or ride the trade now. Just so I see when you're buying that Lambo. If I'm buying that Lambo, then I'm going to do it like that. Or in my sweatshirt, like jogging, or how do you say it in English? I'll definitely go and look to buy a Lambo like that, if it would ever be possible, of course. So thanks for the heads up on Chef Yen as well. I do prefer this high to get taken and then to get back, and then we can look for possible buying scenarios on it as well. So it does look decent at this point. We'll first have to see NZD Chef. Yeah, if NZD Chef is going down, then I want to see Euro NZD. I have a lot on the watch list. This is something for me that I just have to check. Euro Yen is not on my watch list anymore. Pound Canadian. Yeah, looking at Pound Canadian, I think Euro Canadian is going down as well. Pound Chef, same like on Euro Chef. Filled already 50% of the imbalance, so the entry at 26.24 was definitely not valid for me anymore. Reasoning behind is very clear. 50% of the imbalance got filled. UChef. Really just filled the imbalance and then moved. But at this point, it's one of the least likable for me. UChef. So I'll keep it on my watch list, but it's one of the least likable for me. So we'll have to wait, break a structure, come back, sell off until 85.30 at least for me personally, and then erase it. I do want to see that structure get broken. I do think we can get it. The only question is if we can get a decent entry on it or not. So I hope everything was clear for you guys. Let me drive it. I'm not sure if you let me drive it. Euro USD, we covered that, so if you missed it, I personally took a small position already at the 4 hour, right there, around 18.20. I like 18.30 as well. It's a 2 hour imbalance fill. If, however, we break below, that's what. Where is my structure line? Really, I'm pretty sure I made a structure line. No. I'm actually very sure I did that. I'm like, there it is. So I want us to see the structure get broken. Normally it's on a 30-minute time frame. Yeah, there we go. I'm just going to make it on my personal one. So that's why I didn't see it. So let me just go back to the 30-minute. I do want to see, this is my structure line, and I want to see structure get broken, crossing down, bar close. Keep in mind that we do have USD news today, we have NFP this week, so trade safe, trades carefully, responsible always, of course. And then, let's delete this. And then, yeah, just be patient and wait for the trade to come back to you. Market is already squeezed, fill out clean moves. Yeah, there are some clean moves that I'm waiting for, but price has to come back. If it doesn't come back, then hey, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. There's always another move around the corner. So I do want to thank you guys for hopping on. Next week we will be back, of course, on the YouTube live. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me or anything like that. And yeah, for the remaining part, I do want to wish everyone a very good trading week, a very successful trading week, and we'll see each other next week for sure. I hope you all be there. If not, I won't do anything anymore. Thanks guys, and see you on the next sessions. Yeah, next week in the Lambo, I hope.